Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm the Leggetter.
And today we welcome back
Sam Mandi Ghomi. Nice to meet everyone again.
It's a pleasure to have you. And today we're talking about the seminal musical classic. The Terminal. Talking about the Terminal.
I love the Terminal.
I know you do. What was the one where it was Michael Douglas and he was on the run and it had a very similar name to the Terminal and it came out the Sentinel. That's it. And it was like, what are all these stupid names?
The Sentinel.
Was that? I think it was Michael and Catherine Zeta. Or maybe I'm just pulling that out of thin air.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Didn't Michael Douglas get throat cancer from Going Down on Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yeah, so basically it wasn't
What a world.
It wasn't Catherine Zeta-Jones, it was Kim Basinger and Eva Longoria.
Just anybody
but Catherine Zeta-Jones. No, but he basically, in the biggest drop the mic move of all time, he said that his doctor told him that his throat cancer was from going down on too many women, giving too much cunnilingus.
Even if that is a real thing, which I'm sure there's some sort of scientific facts behind that. A doctor says anything like that, and you're immediately putting it out into the world. I don't care. You know what I mean? Doctor says
my dad, Kirk Douglas. Yeah, that's his. He was all his life. He's been looking for a way to one up his dad, and he finally got it. You never got throat cancer from cunnilingus. I bet Kirk didn't. No, I bet Kirk did go down on women. Kirk was a wonderful, great.
Oh, no, Kirk will have gone down on women, but he'll have just, once again, one-upping his son, just won't have got cancer because of it.
Then, what was the, oh, God, Michael Douglas. What a great guy. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about either Kirk Douglas or Elvis Presley, that was it. I think, what's her name? Sybil Shepherd from Taxi Driver. And her go-to thing was that she would always talk about how Elvis went down on her. And she was just like, yeah, well, people were talking about how great their boyfriends are or whatever. And she'd go, yeah, well, Elvis went down on me. So, a suitably
conversation. I win.
Scorsese is telling her about, okay, so this scene, he's you really are scared of him, but you kind of like him. And yeah, well, Elvis went down on me. So I think I know your Taxi Driver movie. Okay, Marty. A suitably filthy opening matron, for a rather filthy, dirty, sexy, brilliant, hilarious, wonderful movie, The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Hello. You've arrived on a rather special night. Tonight, my unconventional conventionalists takes its toll.
Hey.
One of the great memories of my life is in between shows. Was it the first day? Was it the first day of Footloose?
It was between the matinee and
the evening.
Having a good time. Even smiling, Come, we are ready for the floor show.
Oh, fantasy, free me! So you can't see me. No, not at all. In another dimension.
Society must be protected.
Before your magic get turned on.
But it's the
World's secluded.
Yes.
The evening.
Because the first day we watched Rocky Horror, second day we watched Samurai Cop, but that sort of fell apart. And then the third day...
Summer Heights High.
Yes, and then the third day was the barbecue that became Chinese because it started raining, torrential rain. The long story, the short story, is that all three of us were in a much celebrated, might I add, production of Footloose.
Yes.
Critically reviewed, but production of Footloose, as they call it in Germany, apparently. Footloose, and in between shows, it was 6 shows: a matinee, an evening, a matinee, an evening, a matinee, an evening, and in between, yes, and in between we would just get leathered. And on the first day, we got leathered and watched Rocky Horror, and it was marvelous. And I was drinking red wine, and that was the time you had too much red wine, wasn't it, Will?
I mean, technically, too much for me. I didn't really have that much.
Oh,
I know.
You were absolutely fucked, and we were meant to be going on stage, and you were just there like, I've had a
Whereas I was a real Richard Burton, and it actually, I think, enhanced my evening performance. I was going to take... Go on.
I did play a drunk and abusive boyfriend.
So there we go.
If anything, it was just method.
So, and then we go into Patricia Quinn's lips and Richard O'Brien's wonderful voice singing science fiction double feature. One of the most underrated songs of this film, because it's fantastic. Because there's not a bad song in this film. There isn't.
No,
there isn't.
I actually don't think there's a bad song in the complete show. I think Once in a While, which didn't make it to the film, is another lovely song.
It's a lovely song. It's
you can see why it was cut for timings and stuff to keep the plot moving. But all the same, I think it's a lovely little ditty. And depending on which version you're watching, the US or the UK version, Superheroes isn't in the US version, which made me have a complete, not breakdown, but question my own memory and sanity when I was in Philadelphia. And I was like, wait a minute, where's the song where they're all singing on the floor? Where's Superheroes? They were like, there never was a superhero. It's like The Shining. You've always been the bartender here. And then I came home and I immediately grabbed my Blu-ray and it said UK version or US version. And I realized that in the US version, they do cut superheroes. But I think, Superheroes, another wonderfully underrated song, which we'll get to. But what a way to... What an image. What an astounding...
Yeah, and just kind of the introduction of genre and convention throughout the entire thing. You haven't really got a clue what the song is about, but they're just talking. Oh, it's just a well-made song.
I think it's a really well-made film. I think this sort of gets a bit of... Some people sort of dismiss it a little bit, and there's like, oh yeah, it's a kooky and it's cult and it's like, it's like sloppy and everything, and like it was filmed in like 6 weeks or whatever. But actually, I think this is a really, really well-made film and really well edited. I mean, obviously exceptionally acted, and the music's incredible. But I think if you actually look at the bare bones script of it and the sets, the directing, and the editing, I think it's a really solid, great movie musical.
I would say that's probably one of my, not least favourites, but the ones I go, about the stage show, because obviously that science fiction, it's just singing in front of the curtain, handing out the chocolates.
Magenta in a double role. It's Magenta in a double role as an usherette.
Yeah.
Which led to a little bit of issue when it came to the film, because Patricia Quinn didn't get to sing it again, which means that she didn't get a song other than her... verse in Time Warp. So there was a bit of issue there, but then she got won over by O'Brien, a good friend, and she saw all the sets and costumes and said, well, sign me up.
I play Frankenfurter, who is a kind of new variation on the mad scientist of horror films that we all know and love. It is parody, but it also, I play it and think it as a kind of grisly reality. And Frankenfurter, as a variation on Frankenstein, is obsessed with image and the way that things look, and but I see him and play him as a kind of grisly, real freak.
You've scarce been out of drag now for about close on 3 years. How sick of you are you of the part? How much now do you want to escape?
Well, it's sort of like Topsy, really. I mean, it's just growed, and one has to sort of go with it, really. I found making the film more annoying in that way than doing the play, because if you do the play, it's just 2 hours a day, and that you're actually in it doing it.
And Sarandon's got a great voice, and I'm not saying it's
Yes.
greatest voice in the world, but she's
very good. She's great in Enchanted. That's a good movie.
She is good in Enchanted. Susan Sarandon's great in anything.
Yeah.
You know, she was having a little romance with Barry Bostwick during the filming. Did you know?
Oh, he's changed, hasn't he? He looks a lot different.
Yeah, he's very butch now. Butch and grey-haired, and
it's like a country singer.
Yeah. Why did Barry Bostwick have a bigger career? Do you know what role Barry Bostwick originated?
I don't.
What?
Daddy! He was the original Broadway Zuko.
Oh, very good.
Actually.
And that's where he was poached for this film. I don't know where we see the link. Yes, he was the original. He originated Danny Zuko, incredibly. And at the time, obviously, Sarandon was married to Chris Sarandon, who Prince Humperdinck in Misery and the vampire in Fright Night, King Humperdinck rather. Well, it depends what part of the film. And then she kept the Sarandon name, and she had a thing with David Bowie for a while. She had a thing with director Louis Malle, and then eventually, obviously, she gets married to Tim Robbins, and they have a wonderful working relationship. Dead Man Walking, Bull Durham, and then they divorce as well, and now she's with... It leads to our theory from the last week's episode, There's Something About Mary. All of these actors and actresses date loads of famous people and then end up marrying somebody you've never heard of who doesn't... Suddenly, all the Wikipedia is blue, nothing. An oil magnate, a hotel proprietor, and it's like, oh, maybe, okay. And now they're still with them. Yeah, Over the Frankenstein Place, incredible. And then here we go. I mean, incredible. There was a period where I was sort of...
I'm too edgy. The Time Walk's the popular one. It's not the best.
No, likes the Time Walk. Time Walk's the worst song.
I think
it's great.
It's probably my least... No, it's not my least
favorite
song in it.
No, it's not.
I'm not.
There's plenty worse.
You're allowed to not like the Time Warp because it's clearly like a dance along and it's not like an actual musical song. But
it's great.
It's huge.
And it's great.
How do you think they came up with because you can imagine it was like we want a kind of like a dance along and that shows that they're all just insane and like it was jars Janet and Brad.
It was because at the Royal Court it was 40 minutes long and they needed every as the run continued and they were learning their lines and it's as plays and musicals are on longer, they famously shrink in time. Because unless it's like a Les Mis or a Phantom or whatever, where it's all orchestrated, but where it's a play and people pick up their cues and the lines become, just secondhand to you.
Yeah.
Plays famously lose like 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Yeah. So as the run continued, they realised very quickly that they needed more songs. So Eddie's Teddy got written as well as a secondhand sort of, we need another song. And yeah.
Do you have a favourite move in the Time Warp? Anybody?
I mean, there's something very visually aesthetically pleasing to the step to the right, and I greatly enjoy. And that's how you can tell if people know who the film, because they always go, "It's just a jump to the," and they go, "Stop it!" And And
Yeah,
you
because
know,
it's like, wait, if it's a step to the right, you got to be putting that foot out too.
yeah,
You got to be moving that
Christopher.
foot out
You've
too.
got to be doing the famous Biggins. Christopher Biggins in this movie.
And it's when like people have no idea what to do to bring their knees in time, but you got to crash them inwards.
Yeah, because everybody starts, and then I'm still stood there waiting for the cymbal crash, and then where is the pelvic? And then they're like, oh, pelvic thrust. I know what to do here.
The pelvic. Yeah, but you don't go forward. You just it's just one, right? People love to like do a few. Nah, you got to give me one, right? And then get yourself around that really drives you insane.
My sneaky favourite part about Time Warp is how aggressive Charles Gray, the criminologist, gets as it continues. When he's on his desk, he really starts shouting.
When he's on his desk.
It's a bit like in, what's it called? It's in his Kiss. And she goes, oh, what's the angry lyric in It's in His Kiss? It's like, I already told you. Oh, do your little thing, Will, and I was in my interview.
I was say, when we did Annie, which you came to see.
I did that was like a so close, so far moment. I saw Will in Annie, not even knowing who. How about the way he acts? Oh no, that's not the way. And you're not listening to a word I say. If he wants to know if he loves you so, it's in his kiss.
That's where it is.
It's not easy having a good time.
Wonderful, Robert Shaw.
No, yeah, it might be the best character introduction in cinema.
And here we are, Frankenfurter. I mean,
is this the best song in musical history? It might be.
It's definitely up there. The pulsating drum beat, the lowering elevator, Susan Sarandon's wonderful little, I'm cold and I'm wet and I'm just plain scared. And there's nothing to be worried about, Janet. And that zoom in, and we're in, and we meet the incomparable Tim Curry, who's going to elevate. You could make the argument, elevate this film from a very enjoyable farce to a masterpiece of the medium.
It is those little beats, interspersed with his first lyrics, the little da-da.
He's just got the physicality down to a T.
Yeah.
That's great.
Every little dance move it looks semi-improvised, but is so specific. Even the little twirl of the mix in the bowl, and I just absolutely flawless. You know, it's a wonderful example of fourth wall breaking, where it isn't obnoxious.
I love the how about that. That's for me. That's
my favourite part of the film.
How about that?
The water cup.
Babies. Don't you bet it.
The water cup on the screen into how about that?
And we have to talk about anticipation, which is one of, like, there is nothing else I can think that kind of compares to that level of just sheer
power,
genius. Yeah,
I have to hold. I mean, it's. I'll be purely sexual. It's an orgasmic release when you are in the theatre or at the cinema and everybody's going, "Say it, say it," and then they fight. It is like, release. You're like, it's so wonderful.
Very erotic tease. Just the anticipation, and you're just there like, oh my god, you have complete control of me right now. There's nothing I can do about it.
I have not said the word anticipation without a pause in the middle of it since 2013. It just doesn't happen. I say, there's lots of anticipation. And it's the rarity that somebody says, say it, but when they do, God, it's good.
God, that's good.
God, that's deep. Have you lish pies?
And obviously the closing line to that song is I'll remove the cause, but not the symptom. Ah, what? I'm gonna have to go listen to this song.
I'll remove the cause. Again, another marvelous little,
fantastic characterization.
It's a flawless characterization. I've just been recently. I mean, those who have read the blog will have read it by now. But I was ranking the top performances of all time, and just to make it easier, I did female and male. I did 3 by decade, and I allowed myself 8 cheats. And Tim Curry was for the 70s was the first name I wrote down. No, that's a lie. It went Pacino, Godfather, then Curry to Rocky Horror.
Yeah, because I suppose again, not to. I don't believe this podcast is the place for deep, cutting discussion of gender binary.
That's true.
You know, where are you placing that if you're talking about male and female performances? Do you know what I mean? That the entire point is that you can't really place it.
This is true. Tim Curry has commented that he's pansexual. Frankenfurter, not himself.
Oh, I thought Tim Curry was pan. I was like, oh.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, I mean, of course, Frankenfurter's pansexual.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think he gives one tiny little shit what anybody's got anywhere?
And aliens.
Yes.
I have no doubt yourself. They have multiple alien orgies.
It doesn't matter. If you fit, you're getting it. And that's Frankenfurter's entire...
Yes, are all aliens humanoid? Are the Transylvanians?
You joined us today on the big question.
Are all
aliens humanoid? If we're talking in real life,
they all hold orgies.
No, would probably be your answer.
Yes,
chances are not all aliens are humanoid,
which makes the sexual element even freakier.
Even better.
Yeah, there's multiple. Imagine some of the sexually satisfying aliens that are out there.
Oh, they're. It doesn't matter. No, yeah, sorry, that was my mother walking past.
It's all right.
No, yeah, I'm sure there is everybody's dream
ideal
out
alien
there on some other planet. Yeah. You know, one that has 8 arms and a sucker on each. I don't know.
It'd be one of those things where you'd look at it and you'd go, I mean, well, no, half of, all sex is the physical attraction. But half? I don't know if it worked on the percentages.
You don't know the science.
But you'd look at the alien and you'd go, that's the thing that's my ideal. And then it'd start and you'd go, whoa! And
you wouldn't be forming real words.
And then you'd be smoking next to the alien. I don't smoke anyway, but for some reason, the sex was so good with this alien that I started smoking. They're the one parts where I consider smoking. I talked with previous guest...
like Blackadder.
Previous guest David Robinson and me have the exact same thing, where if it wasn't for the cancer, the money, and the smell of your breath, we would smoke like chimneys.
If it wasn't for all of the negative aspects of smoking, yeah, I'd be a smoker. Because it looks cool.
Yeah, but it was always my theory of it doesn't look cool anymore. This is the problem. It's not Mad Men. We're not all in smoky 60s lounges in tight dresses and wonderful suits, and you're behind a shed. And so,
yeah, that's the thing. You're not allowed to just light up in the pub anymore.
No, this is true. And you can't even vape in a pub anymore. Oh, and now we're into the floor show. Roast in my world. Flawless. Is there a better yearbook quote that nobody has ever used because people would call you a knobhead and cringy and corny than Don't Dream It Be It. And it is such a simple and you can, in out of context, sure, it's corny, cringy or whatever. But when you are in that pool and Tim Curry starts saying, Don't Dream It Be It, it's the most transcendent, beautiful sentiment.
I mean, imagine actually being in there, you know, imagine committing to all of this and imagine trying to be getting back to your home planet and just,
it's
there would be nothing
tantamount,
like it.
For me, I rewatched Carousel last night, it's tantamount to the final You'll Never Walk Alone. It's that sort of beautiful, sweeping, yet simple phrase that... Don't dream it, be it. It is wonderful little Titanic, just splashing about, just having a whale of a time. Into, I mean, that incredible. Who do you think has the best verse in Rose to My World? Is it Columbia? Is it Rocky? Is it Brad? Is it Janet?
Well, I'm pretty biased towards Brad because I would love to do that.
Yeah, you're a real Brad. I can see you as Brad.
You are a Brad.
I am a Brad.
I
think
Janet's
Janet's
not continue.
I believe us both to be Frankenfurters, Tom. Which
I know.
Is,
it's a lamentable shame.
Probably.
I think there can only be one. Highlander. I think it gets better. I think Columbia, I don't know what it is about her shrill voice. I think it works and it's not too annoying, but I think I'm glad that she never had a full song. I don't know what it is. I think it's slight. It's not too shrill that it's petrifyingly annoying, but it's very close. And then I think it gets better with Rocky's verse, and then I think it gets better with Brad's sort of change of tone. And let's see. Great legs on Barry Bostwick. Good on him. I mean, and then it kicks it up a whole nother notch with Sarandon. Whoa, I feel released. And she just takes us home, and then the king, our prevailing master, comes forward and takes us home.
Our rightful deity.
Our God.
Our God.
Comes forward and then kicks us back up a notch with ma. And that's one of my favourite little dance moves, his little jerk off two people, shake it to the dance.
He's just giving it that.
And when they all jump out the pool, it's just one of my all-time.
That shot of him coming out of the pool is great, singing towards the camera. I love that.
Susan's having a whale of a time, just kicking her legs. And that lovely little orgy. Well, it's not an orgy, but I mean, you could call it an orgy, I guess.
That lovely little orgy.
Which was the name of my autobiography. And when they're all kissing in the pool and they're all swimming through each other's legs, and it's just a great moment. And we now come to my funeral song.
Oh, I'm going home.
It might be. I think it might be. I think I want to come in to Concerto de Aranjuez.
Yeah.
I want to be lowered to I'm Going Home and then play something a bit more upbeat on the way out. I honestly think every time I hear it, I just weep. I think it's Curry's performance, and it's the power of those people coming in on the deck chairs and with the autographs and everybody just watching him and tears in their eyes. And the one thing I don't like is Patricia Quinn yawning, but that's perfect for the character. Patricia Quinn doesn't like that either. She said, I would never dream of yawning in real life. He was doing such a wonderful job. He was just marvellous. And I was enjoying it as much as anybody. And Jim Sharman, the director, said yawn. And I said, oh, do I have to? And that's how she actually sounds. I listened to the audio commentary this morning. And just such a beautiful song. just sensational. And then we have, for us anyway, superheroes, and then we have science fiction double feature reprise with that tinkling little piano and the beautiful globe, and we have the roll call.
The late night.
It's just beautiful. And then we have a reprise of Time Warp, but instrumental. I think the instrumental is a perfect choice. I don't know. I've always really enjoyed it. I thought it's too jolly to have the singing as well, but
yeah,
the play out, I think it's marvelous. Yes, Will.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, there's just some bits that have a drop in energy, but you can't really help it. Probably because you've got some absolute. It's because the movie itself takes a tone turn halfway through, because it's all fun, and then eventually that's what it does, and so I suppose it's only natural, really.
It's only natural that I should want to. What Crowded House, incredible stuff. Sam, any changes?
I mean, not off the top of my head, really. No, I think I understand the point of reprises, but you know, do they add any overall value?
Oh, I'm a big reprise man. If
you've got
a reprise,
I like a mega mix too.
If you've got a dark reprise to a previously happy song, you've won me over. It's a Fine Life reprise in Oliver. Some living, what you deserve, you get. I'm sold. You've got it.
In my A-level, Tom, my drama piece, and my character's song was Heroes, and then I died to the Peter Gabriel version, just like that.
Yeah, but I didn't like that because
because your piece was bad, Will.
No, because of Peter Gabriel. I mean, you had the payoff of playing the actual Bowie at the end.
Yeah.
But it's always like, oh, just play the Bowie again. And I think, but I did enjoy your piece, Will, and Peter Gabriel's great.
He'll eat nutritious, high protein, and swallow raw eggs. Try to build up his shoulders, his chest, arm, and legs. I just think the rhyme's good. Yeah.
Wonderful stuff. My wheels. I can't move my wheels. I love the turning point for Sarandon. I'm a muscle fan. One of my favourite call-outs is, I don't like men with too many muscles. Just one big one. I've always liked that. I love in the middle of Hot Patootie, the old woman who goes, "Lovely party." I've always liked her. Any other ones we want to throw out?
In Touch Me, obviously, when she's like, "I've only ever kissed before," and it's the "you mean," and it's like, you're not saying anything, but we all know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's clever. I think it's good. It's just a little.
That's got the filthiest lyric. It always leads to trouble and seat wetting. Oh my God!
Seat wetting.
It's the filthiest thing in the show.
In the Glee version, they had to change it to bed wetting.
That doesn't even make any sense. Every time I get horny, I piss myself.
I've tasted blood and I want more.
Ooh, yeah.
She don't mean blood. She means sex.
Sex. Bad sex. I want more sex. Less of a good lyric. I've had sex and I want more sex. A few fun
Which is
facts.
why we didn't write Rocky Horror.
Yeah, this is true. Mick Jagger wanted to play Frankenfurter.
Not funny.
Yes. No. Vincent Price was offered the role of the criminologist, but turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. He was very interested because he saw the West End show and loved it. Sam, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on again.
No, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you so much.
Will, have you any final thoughts on the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Oh, it's been very fun. Thank you, Sam, again.
No, thank you.
It's been a pleasure. You know, every time I get horny, I piss myself.